Look at this is like a whole vibe right here. Look at this. This looks
I
amazing.
know. I feel like we're at a little concert, a Zoom concert.
I was going to say welcome to the show, but I feel like you should be welcoming me to the Sugar Show.
Yeah, welcome to the Sugar Show.
That's exactly what's going on here. My goodness. So, where are we right now, by the way?
Yeah, we're at my gaming house right now. My little brother and his girlfriend just moved down from Montana, so they just moved in like yesterday. So they're getting their stuff moved in. Um, and yeah, so I have my setup at this house because my where we just bought a house. Well, I guess it was back in October. The internet out there is just complete dog shit, and I didn't realize it was going to be. So I had to move my whole setup. I moved it from here to there, and then I had to move it back in like the same week because I had to keep streaming. So, but yeah, we're here at the gaming house.
Must be nice to have an entire house just dedicated to gaming and great internet.
Yeah, content and internet or content and gaming. Yeah,
You are so entertaining both in and out of the octagon, and I'm really curious if I was in like middle school with you and sat next to you, would I be sitting next to the same Sean O'Malley that's sitting in front of me right now?
that's a good question. I remember not so much. Yeah, I'd say late middle school. Yeah, seventh, eighth grade. So I guess that's pretty much all middle school. Yeah, I was the entertainer, the class clown. I remember getting in trouble at school and going home and telling my parents, I'm like, no one wants to be there. If I can make everyone laugh and make their day enjoyable, why not? Even if I get in trouble. I remember saying that. I don't know if I was an eighth grade or if I was a freshman at that point. But I always got in trouble in school, and it was most of the time just trying to be goofy, trying to make the girls laugh, trying to make the boys laugh, just like trying to make friends and just be goofy.
Who did
So
you
yeah, I'd say
think?
probably pretty similar.
What did you think you were going to end up being when you grew up, when you were a kid?
I thought I'd be in the NFL.
Really?
I Yeah, I mean, you don't know better when I was fifth grade, sixth grade, seventh grade, eighth grade. Um, Maybe not so much. Yeah, I didn't know. I played football, and I watched the NFL a lot. I lived in Montana, so it wasn't like, I was just about around a bunch of average guys. I was just a normal average kid, so I didn't think of anything. I didn't realize I wasn't going to be 6'5", 280 pounds. I didn't. Yeah. So I thought I was going to be in the NFL for a while. Until probably about seventh, eighth grade. And then it hit me. I'm like, okay, that's not going to work. Um, then I didn't really know what I was going to do. I didn't find kickboxing or fighting, I guess, till I was 16 years old. So there was a period of time where I didn't know what I was going to do, but I really didn't stress about it too much. I knew I wasn't going to go to college when I was in like third grade. I was like, no, not happening. I didn't like school. I hated school. Um, it didn't make sense to me. It still doesn't make sense to me. I don't understand why people go to school for 8 hours and learn eight different things and have homework in eight different subjects and not like any of them. I mean, some kids, enjoy math, science, whatever it is, but to do, I didn't enjoy any of it. I liked sports. I was an athlete my whole life, and I didn't want to go to school. Luckily, I found fighting.
So when you're growing up in Montana, who's your NFL team?
Broncos. I love the diehard Denver Broncos. Would
I
cry if
mean,
they lost.
makes sense by proximity. They're, I guess, the closest team, right?
Yeah, they were.
Or the
My mom
Seahawks,
liked the
maybe?
Broncos. My mom liked the Broncos. I think I really like the blue and orange colors, and I don't really remember. Well, I think it's just because my mom liked the Broncos, my dad liked the Cowboys, and my little brother liked the Cowboys. So it's kind of just opposite of whatever my brother wanted.
So you said you found kickboxing, but I mean, you don't just stumble across it. How did you find it?
I feel like in this case I kind of did just stumble across it. I remember vividly. I was 16. I guess not that vivid if I don't remember. I was 15, 16 years old, and we were in Utah on a vacation in the summer. So I was going into freshman year, I believe.
Sure.
And my buddy called me on my flip phone. I answered. I'm like, "What's up?" He said, "Do you want to check out this fighting gym?" And I was like, "Yeah, I can't right now. I'm in Utah. I can when I come back." And it was in the summer, and we went down. And I think the first class I ever did was a jiu-jitsu class. When I was 16, and I did a couple arm bars. Didn't really. I liked it, but then I think the next class was kickboxing. And I'm like, "Oh shit, I love that."
Yeah.
So I completely didn't do any jiu-jitsu, any wrestling, and just kickbox, hit mitts, sparred, shadow box, hit the bag. from 16, 17, 18 years old. Pretty much all I did was kickboxing. Had 4 kickboxing fights, had I think 4 boxing fights up until I was 18. So I was just, I remember going to school. Monday was a Friday, and then we had kickboxing practice after. And just really enjoyed it, looked forward to it, and was naturally, I think it was more so I was an athlete than good at kickboxing.
Yeah.
Because I didn't really know any techniques. I didn't really know how to throw a proper 1-2. I was just an athlete. And my style is similar now. It's just a lot more advanced. It's been 10 years now, so I've actually got legitimate skills. But I think just when I started, I was an athlete. I was beating people up, and it was, addicting.
Well, you're still beating people up. And the scary thing is you're just getting better and better every single fight. Like, you're not even close to being in your prime yet.
Not even close. I think I still got, I'm 26. I got, I think, 30, 31, 32 is when you're in your prime. I think, we got a good amount of skills to, get better at, and I'm going to be dangerous.
Do you remember what your first introduction to UFC was, maybe as a kid?
Yeah, I have a funny story about that. My dad used to watch it, and I was like, I remember one time I wanted to watch TV, and my mom thought it was just as weird as I did, those guys like fighting in a cage. And I remember telling on my dad, I was pretty young, telling on my dad that he was watching fighting because I thought he was bad. I was like, why, we can't be watching that. I think Uriah Faber was fighting. I don't know if it's the WEC or what, but I remember Uriah Faber, Chuck Liddell, and Tito Ortiz. Like, that's kind of like the first introduction. But then for a long time, I didn't watch fighting. When I moved to Phoenix when I was 19 years old, I couldn't name the champs. I lived with Tim, my coach, Tim Welch, and he would always make fun of me. He's like, dude, you don't even know who the champ of your division is or like anyone. I'm like, so I didn't really watch it. Even still to today, I don't watch it a ton. I'll watch like the card this weekend. I might watch a couple fights here or there. Might completely forget about them. I'll watch the stacked cards, the really good cards. I'll watch someone that someone who's an entertainer that knows how to entertain and promote a fight. Usually they catch my eye and I'll watch that. But yeah.
When you look at a card, who's a guy or a girl on that card where you go, I am not missing their fight no matter what?
There's that card, like I'm going to watch Izzy Marvin fight. I'm going to watch anytime Nate Diaz fights, Connor McGregor fights, Dustin Poirier, even at this point, Kamaru, Jorge, the top dog. I'm going to watch the top dogs. They're interesting. And of course, any of my buddies fight. I train with a bunch of guys, Mario Batista, Casey Kenny, Kyler Phillips. Like, I train with, if any of my teammates are fighting, I'm going to watch 100%. So, but yeah, I'm not, like I say, I'm not a diehard because I play Xbox. I stream with some diehard fans who will watch from the prelims to the end and know every single fighter and their record and where they're from, who they train with. Like, those guys are diehards.
And you don't need to, all you need to care about is what's going on in your fights, I feel like.
Yeah, I gotta improve. That's about it. I gotta improve in my jiu-jitsu and my cardio and my striking. Those 3 things, and that's about all that matters too much to me.
You want to talk about an entertaining fighter who knows how to sell a fight. Would you ever think about moving up? Be a total dream fight for you, I would imagine, to fight Conor.
Yeah, I think, Conor's quite a bit bigger when he's walking around fighting at 170.
Yeah.
But styles make matchups. I believe I'm, way faster. But yeah,
what do you walk around at?
I'm 158 right now. So it would be like one of those crazy fights that, like, dude, we're watching Logan Paul versus Floyd Mayweather. We watch Jake Paul versus Ben. Like, it's not impossible for me to fight Conor eventually. Someday. I don't think it's going to be anytime in the near future. I think I have to establish myself as a legend first. Like, Conor's a legend. He's going to begin in the Hall of Fame. He's a legend. I have to establish myself there before I can even talk about getting big matchups like that. But I'm on the right track. I'm knocking people out left and right, and it's going to happen. So
I think about you finish fights. That's what's so exciting about your fights.
Yeah, I've been knocking people out since I started kickboxing. When I was 16 years old, I was knocking people out too. Not in as sweet a fashion, but I was putting lights out when I was 16, when I first started, and I've had over 30 fights, talking about amateur, pro, kickboxing, boxing. I've had over 30 fights, and I've knocked a majority of them out.
In those 30 fights, what's your favorite highlight so far?
Whew.
Maybe give me 3.
Yeah, okay, that's a little bit easier. The Alfred fight, that's one that really put me on the map. Snoop Dogg yelling O'Malley. That was up there to be number 1 potentially. That was legendary. A fight that really felt good for me was when I had that 2-year layoff, came back, fought Jose Quinones. That was a powerful moment in my career. And that Eddie Wineland knockout was so clean, but I'd put that Eddie and the Thomas one right there next to each other. I loved how that fight ended. I loved how the commentators sounded. It sounded. I made them sound stupid. Massive mistake, huge mistake. Let him. I liked that how that ended with Thomas.
I feel like Snoop Dogg made that fight. I mean, that was incredible. Did you have any sort of exchange with him before or after that fight?
Not before. I remember in an interview, I literally remember in an interview saying, I'm going to go out there and perform and make Snoop Dogg say that he wants to meet me. I don't know if Snoop saw that or what, but right after that fight, he's like, I want to meet that kid. I want to meet that kid, man. So right after that fight, I went straight out to his trailer, and I got a smoke with Snoop. And, I was 22 years old, and that was insane. That was like, that was the first time, I've had it multiple times now throughout my career, especially now just being in Miami, feeling like I was living in a movie. I was like, wait, what? We're passing around. I was like, it didn't even feel real.
Is it the best weed you've ever smoked?
I don't even, that whole moment was so crazy because I just got signed, just came out. I just had a viral knockout, and now I'm in smoke with Snoop. I was high on life. I didn't even need to smoke, and I was so high.
See, so many people go on to Dana White's Contenders series and don't really take the ball and run with it. Like, you went on there and you made a name for yourself, and you took that opportunity and you ran with it.
Yeah. I mean, I was coming off of in my opinion, one of the sickest knockouts of all time in LFA when I spinning kicked David Nuzzo's head off. And, so I was going into that fight with a lot of momentum. I knew, Snoop was going to be there. Dana was going to be there. This is an opportunity I have to capitalize on. And it's hard for some people aren't finishers. There's some people in the UFC that just aren't finishers. They're just not, they don't finish fights. They go to decision. They're not for me, whatever. I'm a finisher. I knock people out. That's what I do. And that's what the fans want to see. That's why I've built a name for myself.
But then the Sean that you are now is so different from that guy that was on the Contenders series. When do you feel like you really got a footing for who you are now?
Yeah, I think that Sean back then was, I'm still similar. I'm still the same person, just evolved, obviously. Yeah. But being in front of the camera more and more and more, you feel more comfortable because, that was, somewhat of the first time I've been in front of the camera, just getting introduced to interviews. And, so, when that first happens, it's kind of weird. It's awkward. It's can't really be your full self. But now I'm way more comfortable being in front of the camera, way more comfortable entertaining and understanding what my job is. I'm an entertainer. I'm a UFC fighter / entertainer. They go hand in hand. Some people are just fighters and they don't have, they're not making the money I'm making outside the UFC. I'm getting paid from merch, YouTube, Twitch, TikTok, Instagram. I'm making 6 figures easy, sometimes 6 figures a month, not even from fighting. I'm so understanding entertainment and UFC and being a fighter and balancing that is something I've really gotten really good at.
Well, you're not just a fighter or just an entertainer. You're an entrepreneur. That's really what you are.
Yeah, right. Yeah. Merch, the merch drops we've been doing are go insane. The Undefeated merch right after my fight, I had to make up Undefeated merch. I said, I'm going to post this right after my fight. And that did 6 figures in a week. It was crazy.
That's brilliant. So I'm a big wrestling fan, and that is such a page out of the pro wrestling handbook to go, all right, this thing's going to happen. And then the second it happens, you sell a t-shirt based on that.
I know. I've actually never in my life ever watched pro wrestling.
Well,
name any of them.
You would be a perfect pro wrestling character.
I feel like, you know what? I feel like a lot of opportunities are going to present itself. First of all, I have to keep winning fights. I keep knocking people out. These opportunities are keep coming in. But yeah, I feel like a character is what I am. A character is what I'm trying. That's what people want to see. They don't want to see some, just nice gentleman dad who just. If that's who someone is, then that's who someone is. But I feel like in real life, I am a fucking character. Like this is who I am all day. Like I'm not really switching my attitude or anything, my personality too much. My phone. But yeah, no, yeah, I think character is what I'm going for, and I think big opportunities like potentially pro wrestling, some kind of acting in the future, I think would be cool. So yeah.
Can you imagine how much more money you'd be making on merch if you were able to wear those shirts as walkout shirts?
Yeah, but then I wouldn't be able to wear my Venom gear.
This is true.
No, I don't. I haven't seen the Venom stuff yet. My fight, I think, was the last Reebok fight.
That's right.
So I haven't got the Venom outfits yet. They look the exact same as Reebok, with a different logo. So, but yeah, they're really. I think my last fight I made like $5,000 from Reebok from because it's per fight or whatever. But really, if I could wear my own stuff and promote other sponsors, I could make 6 figures a fight off sponsors. But I'm only making 5,000 per sponsor.
What's the deal with Venom, or at the time Reebok? Do you have to wear it down to the ring and then after the fight as well?
Anytime there's UFC cameras on, so all of fight week. If it's a UFC camera,
wow.
Embedded's not a UFC camera, so that's not. But all of the media, it can be. I could wear like my own style suit or something that doesn't promote another company. But yeah, pretty much whole fight week's Reebok. Before the fight, after the fight, obviously during the fight with the shorts.
So I'm going to link up to your YouTube channel down below. We have about the same amount of subscribers, so a bunch of my people can come over and subscribe to you.
Thank you.
But where can people find your merch?
Yeah, sugashop.co. Usually I have it in my Instagram bio too. It's usually the one that's on there. But yeah, sugashop.co. I love the fashion. I actually just did a huge fashion magazine for Icon this weekend in Miami that Bruce Weber shot. He's I was wearing the newest Versace, the newest Louis. It was crazy because I've never really been a part of the fashion world, but I was wearing like a $5,000 necklace that just was like pretty simple and like random. It was really fun. But doing that kind of fashion was really fun, and it was something I've always wanted to get into. So having our own merch, Danny and I, like she's my wife, she helps it design and do all that stuff. So yeah, sugashop.co, and the merch is fantastic.
Does this mean after this magazine spread that we're going to see you coming to the arenas like dressed to the nines like Connor?
That would be ideal. It's been hard to wear outfits with when the COVID, because the media day wasn't the same. It was over Zoom. I didn't really feel like getting dressed up to sit in the chair for if I'm going to get dressed up, I want to interact, shake hands, talk eye to eye with So I think July 10th, T-Mobile Arena. It's gonna be packed. Media day is gonna be packed, and you best believe I'm gonna be wearing something.
I love how juxtaposed it is that you have rainbow hair on top and you'll be wearing like a $5,000 suit.
Yeah, we'll see I don't know what we're gonna wear yet. But for the most part, most of my stuff hasn't been too expensive. A lot of cool outfits I've gotten have been from Goodwill. It's just thrift shopping, finding random stuff that looks good together. But who knows, if there's something out there that's really expensive that I'm like, God, I got to wear it, I'll get it. But for the most part, I'm just kind of trying to just seeing whatever, just being different.
How much thought did you put into dyeing your hair for the first time?
Probably about as much thought as I thought of getting face tattoos. Not a lot. No, I think it was actually funny because I remember when I first got into the UFC, when I fought Terry on Ware as my debut, I had thought about doing like crazy hair, dyeing my hair, but I was like, God, I don't have a name yet. I haven't made myself a name yet to where I think it would come off bad. I didn't want people to be like, what the fuck? So I went a couple fights, and I'm on the Xbox with my buddies, and my boy Schmitty's like, you should do your hair like 6ix9ine. I'm like, God, I've actually thought about that a lot. And that night I told my girl, she does hair. My girl does all my hair. And at that night, I'm like, let's go. So she got home from work, and then we actually just turned around, went right back to the salon, made my hair rainbow. It took like 9 hours. Got home at like 3 a.m. But yeah, so I think I've had probably 7 different hair colors now since we started, and I think it makes it pops. It makes people look.
Oh yeah, it definitely makes people look. I think the first time I saw it, I wasn't sure if that was real hair or not.
Yeah, no, it's definitely real. It's nice because, like I said, she does hair, so she knows how to keep my hair. We had to cut like 4 inches off because it was so dead from coloring it so much. So we cut like 4 inches off, and now it's the curl was completely gone about a couple weeks ago until she cut it, and then did some treatments on it, and then we recolored it, and my hair's healthy now, healthy and alive.
Is she the one that's doing the braids in your hair too?
She's done all the braids except for the last one. The last one was a pot leaf, and she doesn't know how to do that. But she also wasn't at that last UFC because we had our baby, and the UFC wouldn't allow. We were in quarantine in hotels, so the UFC lady did my hair.
Okay. So you mentioned, you had the baby. Congratulations.
Thank you, thank you.
How much has becoming a dad changed you as a person?
I think whoever's running this world we live in and has big plans for me, had me have a baby at the right time, because this year I never really partied ever in my life. I've never went out. I've never been to crazy clubs. And after my last fight, we went out to the club in Vegas, went to Georgia, to the boxing, went to the club in Georgia, went to Miami. Like, I've been doing all these things because of all these opportunities present itself. Hey, do you want to go to Miami, Georgia, and watch the Ben Askren Jake Paul fight? I'm like, yeah, of course I want to.
Yeah.
Are you kidding me? You know how many people are going to be watching that? Of course I'm going to go. Then Miami, that photo shoot, and then there's a 6ix9ine concert that night, and then there's Travis Scott's birthday party. So I'm taking advantage of all these opportunities to get my name out there. And it's fun, man. Partying's fun. Like, I can't lie to you, say it's not super fun and enjoyable in its own way. And I could get lost in that world, maybe. Yeah. But having the baby, it's like, I can't wait to get back to Danny and Elena. Like, that's keeping me grounded, and I think it's a good thing, because, like I said, it's fun going out, partying, doing all that stuff. But having Elena, having Danny here, and when I'm in Arizona, I don't party. It's training, it's gaming, it's living that life. It's living the life what got me here. The last 10 years have been training, gaming, and now it's no different. Training, gaming, and now I have a baby. So it's been really good watching her grow. She just turned 6 months. I don't even know how to describe. It's crazy how big they get so fast.
I am not a father. I can't imagine. Like, all my friends that are parents, they're always like, I haven't slept in 6 months or a year or whatever. And like, again, like when you're away for a few days, you come back and they've grown, like they're twice the size now.
Yeah, no, the sleeping's real. I mean, every night she's pretty much only been breastfed for the last 6 months. She's slowly starting to have, soft foods, but she'll wake up every single night and want milk, like want to be breastfed. And, she wakes up, I wake up, Danny wakes up. So I've gotten a lot more sleep than Danny has, because she has to get up and feed. And I don't know how they do it. The women they're different. They're built different, man. I don't know how they function on the lack of sleep, because I know if I get a lack of sleep, I need to sleep. I need to fucking sleep, and they can't. She still goes to work, and she still does jiu-jitsu, and she's still compete in her jiu-jitsu competition in a couple weeks. It's crazy, man. Yeah, she's an animal. So I think
she might be Wonder Woman from the sounds of it.
Yeah, she definitely is. Moms are they're just built different.
What's non-negotiable for you in your daily life?
When I'm home, just missing training. Like, I just don't miss training. I can't miss training. It's been like that for the last 10 years. Even when I was back in Montana, I wasn't training at good gyms. There's no good gyms in Montana, but I'd still go and get as good as I could. Now that I'm back in Arizona, it's the same thing. I just can't miss training, can't miss grappling, can't miss my strength and conditioning. I also don't need Tim, my coach, or Brandon, my strength and conditioning coach, to tell me, hey, we need to train. It's me hitting them up saying, hey, what time are we training at? So I do a very good job of staying disciplined and getting the work in.
I would feel like that's just part of your job though. Like that's kind of like just
You'd
showing
be
up to work.
surprised. You'd be surprised. I mean, training every day, it gets, you have to constantly find little things that motivate you, or even if you're not motivated, still go. It's not, once you've made a lot of money, you're like, do I really need to go to the gym today? But yeah, it's you'd be surprised. I know a lot of fighters that, take off more than they need to.
What about in your personal life? What's non-negotiable for you in your personal life?
Um, Non-negotiable. I don't know. Pretty open-minded to anything, to everything. I don't really have, I'm not too set in any certain beliefs that I'm like, this is it, this is it, or it's no other way. Nothing that I can kind of think
There's
of.
some people that are like, it's 8 hours of sleep a night, or it's,
Oh,
I
well,
need
that's
to
actually a
meditate
good
every
answer.
day, or whatever it is.
Okay. No, that was I wasn't even thinking like that. Yeah, that's a good. My sleep is money. We just got a super dope cold plunge. I've been cold plunging for probably 3 years now. I was just doing it in the regular ice freezer chest, fill it up with water, plug it in, plug it when you get in. But I just got this company called Plunge just sent me a really nice cold plunge. So sleeping, cold plunging, and it's been a lot harder starting my morning every morning off with like a 10-minute meditation, whether it's just like a YouTube one where it's more gratitude, or whether it's like a Sam Harris one, waking up, where it's more he has a bunch of different types of meditation on there. But I really, I don't know if the word, yeah, I do enjoy it. Start my morning off with 10 minutes of meditation, of silencing my mind, quieting my mind. I think that makes me feel a lot better throughout the day. And so, yeah, I'd say that meditation, cold plunge, and making sure I get good sleep, or as good a sleep as I possibly can, which means for us going to bed earlier.
Yeah.
I go to bed at 11 o'clock, wake up at 7. My sleep's not going to be nearly as good as if I go to bed at 10:30, 9. Like just those little half hour, 2 hours sleep, what will change the quality of your sleep.
So what's the first half hour of your day look like?
First half hour of the day, it depends if Elena wakes up before me. If I wake up before Elena, then I go outside. It's beautiful out usually. It's getting warm now, but we have a really, really nice place up in Peoria with a nice view. Go outside, do my 10-minute meditation, go inside, Elena's usually up, change her diaper. And then I take her outside. She loves listening to the birds in the morning. There's bunnies in the grass. It's nice taking her outside early in the morning, just kind of, not grabbing my phone and start surfing. So usually the first 30 minutes, I'd probably start making coffee. Well, I always have to hydrate. I get hydrated before I start making coffee. I think that's super important. So I get really hydrated, a little bit of salt in my water, and then make coffee every morning. I use an AeroPress. Love making coffee for Danny and I. That usually takes up about 30 minutes.
Where does your podcast fit into everything that you're doing? The Timbo Suga Show.
Yeah, the Timbo Suga Show it's been fun. We've been doing that for a couple of years now. And I think, that's only 1 hour a week. That's Wednesdays at 10:30, we record it. It's usually about an hour long. I just show up and talk. Tim usually has the stuff written out that we're going to talk about. And then my boy JX, who does our vlogs, our podcast, my other buddy Dana, helps JX run that. We do that just once a week. But my little brother just moved down from Montana, and he's trying to figure out what, he's trying to figure out what to do in life. So I was like, let's start another little YouTube segment, bullshitting with Sugar, or shooting the shit with Sugar. And he's just going to come up with current events, and we're going to, keep running with that. And, but yeah, shooting content's, it's easy. It's fun. It's not like something you have to stress about. It's easy. It's fun. So the podcast, I enjoy the podcast. I enjoy making YouTube videos. I enjoy making TikToks, and making money doing it. It makes it even better.
Does that take away from your training, or is that your break from training?
Yeah. I mean, a lot of people think you don't train 6 hours a day. Yeah. I'll get up, I'll go to the gym from 10 to 11, 15, 11:30 for a morning session. And then from 11:30 till 5, I usually take a nap, especially when I'm in camp. I'll take a nap, I'll eat. And then I'm chilling. I'm, not doing much. We bust out a quick video, and train again in the afternoon. But yeah, realistically, you only train like 4 hours, 3.5, 4 hours a day. And you have surprisingly a ton of free time.
Have you always been this entrepreneurial?
I remember when I was when I first started fighting MMA when I was 18, I was selling shirts. I was doing, just cheap shirts that looking back, they weren't good, but my fans, my family, like the fans back home would buy them. I'd make $1,000 and I'd be able to live off of that for like 2.5, 3 months. So yeah, I guess I was always kind of making little highlight videos on my Instagram of training, promoting myself, highlight videos of the fight, like clipping up like shitty like quality, like horrible. But yeah, I guess, that was me being an entrepreneur in a sense.
Oh man, I love it. Whose footsteps do you think you've been following in MMA?
Yeah, I feel like I'm creating a whole my own path. I feel like there's a little bit of Conor in there with like, when Conor came on the scene and started, selling. I mean, I guess Chael did it too, talking, but I didn't really watch the UFC that much ever. I didn't really know who Chael was. I didn't know. So Conor was the first big person. I was like, oh shit, that motherfucker's getting a lot of attention, and his weigh-ins are sold out. Like, I want my weigh-ins to be sold out. I want the Sugar fans to be going crazy. Like, that's the stuff I want. So I'd say probably Conor if I had to pick one, but I really truly do think I'm doing something different. I'm doing something bigger.
I feel like we gotta put a title on this, man. How many fights away do you think you are from a title shot?
Yeah, I just announced, I haven't signed a contract. I don't think he signed a contract, but Louis Smolka got announced. That's who they offered me. I got a ton of people, not a ton, a good amount of people, a little upset with the fight getting out. I was calling out Pedro Munoz. I called out Peter. I called out Dominic. I was trying to fight these top dogs. But UFC's they're their own business. Like, they're running their show how they believe to run it. I don't have any say. I'm not a matchmaker. They came to me, said, do you want to fight Louis Smolka July 10th? And I said yes. That was as simple as that. Yeah, title fight. Yeah, I don't know. I think I'm gonna knock out Louis Smolka, and then get a big fight. Who knows? Top 10, top 5. We'll see if Cody doesn't get knocked out for the 14th time. Maybe it's Cody next. Maybe Dominic. I don't think Dominic would take that fight. Peter's not going to take that fight. He's got that title fight coming. So we'll see. Knock out Smolka, knock someone out by the end of this year. And I think early 2022, we could be looking at a title.
It's so, I mean, I know you've said this in other interviews. It's not about the fact whether you win or not. It's how you win these fights.
Yeah, totally. I go out there and win a decision and it's boring. I ain't fighting. I'm not fighting a big name. I'm not fighting someone with a name. I go out there and knock them out the way I've been knocking people out. I pretty much get to call my shot. So, yeah. I guess that's not necessarily true because I knocked out Thomas and I was calling out big name opponents and I didn't get one. But I think we're this close. We're this close. Luis, I think he's finished 15 of his 17 wins. He's never been knocked out. He's a vet. He's got a ton of UFC experience, twice as much as me. So I don't think it's an easy fight. I'm not going to run. Well, I might. I probably will run through him, but that's going to take me being focused for the next 10 weeks, training, getting in shape, insane 15-minute cardio shape, and putting his lights out for 15 minutes because he's tough. People literally get tired of beating him up, and then he finishes people. So I got to be ready to beat him up for 15 minutes.
I don't know if everybody knows this or not, but you're represented by VaynerMedia. So I'm really curious to know, what did you do to get on Gary Vaynerchuk's radar?
Yeah, he's hit me up a couple times in the DMs because I didn't have a manager for a long time because I had the manager
I said VaynerMedia. I meant Vayner Sports.
Yeah, Vayner Sport. Yeah. The manager I had when I first started fighting it wasn't good. It wasn't a good job. Like, I'm like, what am I doing? I'm paying you more than you're making me. It doesn't make any sense. So I went I went manager free for like 2 years, doing my own thing. And then my dad, Gary, I don't know how they talk. My dad's like, I think you should really try to hear them out. So just got on a FaceTime or a Zoom with Gary and his team, and it made sense to me for me to go with them. I'm still waiting on that that big sponsorship coming in, but I think they've been extremely helpful with in the last, since I've signed with them. They've been very helpful. I do a lot of the work with Sarah, who's fucking awesome. She's the one, she gets me into all the clubs, gets me into the concerts. So she's been cool. Lloyd's been awesome. I don't speak to Gary often, but I know he's doing his thing for me and stuff. So, but yeah, Vayner Sports has been good.
I mean, and it makes sense. You're a social media guy, and they are a social media forward company.
Yeah, I think I really do think they're gonna, be able to do some big 6-figure deals for me. Especially if I keep doing my job, which is knocking people out, making good content. They'll be able to get some good sponsors for me.
I know you've been saying that you are still undefeated, and I don't know if you're aware of this or not, but someone went in and edited your Wikipedia. So your Wikipedia says you're 13-0.
Oh, really?
Yes.
Good. Smart people. Yeah. I mean, yeah, that's been a funny, I don't know. They're right. I in my mind, I really don't feel like I was beat that fight. I was whooping his ass, and his toe. Even if it wasn't his toe, it was still such a freak accident. That is just not a loss in my mind, and a lot of people don't know how to deal with that, because a lot of people, I don't know why they can't deal with that, but yeah, it's been quite the thing to talk about.
Did you immediately know something was wrong with your leg?
My foot was completely, it was like numb, and it also felt like it was just thousands of little needles in my foot, and I couldn't lift it up. So every time I stepped forward, it would roll. And I remember vividly remember dragging it across the cage, and him standing there and still thinking he can't do shit to me. Like, he didn't even take me down. I fucking fell down because my ankle completely gave out, because I rolled it like 5 times. Even when my ankle was just dead, I was still piecing him up, dotting him up. So yeah, it was, I remember feeling it completely numb, and it was just, I didn't know what happened, because like that kick didn't land hard. It literally, his toe hit the nerve. Like his toe hit a button, a tiny button. And yeah, it was super weird. It was weird how he celebrated like he'd done something.
How long until you got feeling back in your leg?
Shortly after the nerve came back. I was able to walk out. The UFC was like, no, get on a stretcher. And I was like, well, fuck it. I just fucking lost, and my foot hurts. I'll get on the stretcher. But yeah, my foot was fine. Basically just sprained it like 5 fucking times, and it just it was like the recovery was just basically a really severe sprained ankle.
Do you feel like you need a rematch against Chito?
If he works his way up, I did him a favor. He was coming off a loss. I did him a favor, fighting me. It was a co-main event on a huge pay-per-view because of me. And the way he handled that win was embarrassing. He got up screaming like he did something. I just don't feel like he deserves it. And that's just, if he can climb his way back up, he hasn't won a fight in like 2 years. He's 0-2-1. He lost to a Song. He had no contest with me, and then he lost to Jose Aldo. He's 0-3 in his last 3. So really hasn't done anything. Now he's fighting another turd. And I don't know. We'll see. We'll see if he does something cool and works his way up. To me, I just think he's a journeyman. I think he's just gonna keep win, lose, and I'm gonna be the top dog, the star of the UFC. So if he can earn a rematch, then yeah. But for the most part, after me and you stop talking about him, or after our conversation, I probably won't really talk about him much anymore until he earns it.
So you say you want to be a top dog, you want to be a top star in UFC. How many years or months do you think until that's you?
Yeah, I think I'm gonna, it's been a slow build, really. It's been, it's going up. It's not super slow. It's actually been kind of fast, but I think, just keep winning fights. I go out there and beat Louis Smolka, my stock grows up that much more. And then beating a top 10 dude, I think really will solidify I'm a star. Whether after I beat a top 10 dude, I could probably start headlining pay-per-views.
Well, I mean, there's no question that when someone sees you fight, based number one on your fighting style, but number two, your look, you are unforgettable when you're in the octagon.
Thank you, brother. Yeah, I think I feel so fluid in there, so smooth. I don't see, anytime I watch people fight, I don't see that in them. I feel different in that cage. I just feel so present and fluid and just I just feel different in there.
I'm so excited to see you in there July 10th.
Thank you, bro.
In front of a full crowd too.
Whew, yeah, the full crowd's gonna change the game.
You talked a little bit about gratitude earlier, and I end every conversation, Sean, talking about gratitude. So I want to know, what are 3 things in your life that you're grateful for right now?
Being surrounded by my family. Danny, my wife's awesome. Elena, our baby girl, she's literally perfect. And then my mom's moving down with me. She's got a room at my house. It can be difficult living with your mom, but it's, at the end of the day, it's pretty cool. My little sister lives with me right now. She's actually going to be moving in with my little brother who just moved in. So, being able to be close to my family again, because I lived here for 7 years in Phoenix and they all lived in Montana. So they're all just moving down right now and it's pretty cool. So my family, and then obviously my friends. I think I was just thinking about this the other day, how much more important friends are than having money. Like if you had to pick one or the other, it's like those conversations, those times you have with your friends are so much more important. And especially going on these trips with my coach, who's also my best friend, Tim, who's also my business partner. And so having those friends and JX being able to come with us to Miami to vlog everything, and we're working and having a good time. So family is up there, friends is right behind it. And then I guess I'm grateful just for finding a passion and having something to look forward to every day, whether it's, now it used to just be fighting. Like that was it. Like my passion was fighting. Now it's creating content. I really enjoy creating content. Through creating content, I'm able to pay, my little brother, my little sister, I have my mom, my dad, everyone on the payroll, my whole family's on the payroll. So be able to create content and pay my family and friends, my coach, I can pay both my coaches, like they can make good money, like my family. It's been cool. So family, friends, and just being able to, or finding that passion, because a lot of people struggle finding something that they truly enjoy doing. And I lucked out.
I've really enjoyed this, man. Sugar Sean O'Malley, thank you so much for your time today.
Yep, absolutely, man. Thank you. That was a lot of fun.
No, that was great. I will never have another interview with a background as cool as this.
Oh, I know. I look like I'm at a strip club or something.